My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
Jimmy Carter's election in 1976 confounded the conventional political wisdom. Until that year's Iowa caucuses, in which he trounced his better-known rivals, Carter was virtually unknown outside of his native Georgia. He grew up in Plains, Georgia, in a farm that lacked electricity and indoor plumbing. He attended the U.S. Naval Academy, served as a Navy lieutenant, and then came home to run the family peanut farm. He met Rosalind Smith, the woman who would become not only his wife, but his closest friend and advisor. Carter entered politics, serving 2 terms in the Georgia State Senate.
I, Jimmy Carter, do.
And in 1970, he was elected governor. In his inaugural address, he made it clear there was a new breeze blowing through the South.
The time for racial discrimination is over.
Would our first challenger enter and sign in, please?
But outside of Georgia, Carter remained largely unknown, even stumping the panelists during an appearance on What's My Line back in 1973. Just a year later, he announced he was running for president.
Well, if y'all help me, I'll take it.
This political outsider and born-again Christian was a welcome change for a public disillusioned with its leaders in the wake of Watergate and other scandals. In the general election, Carter narrowly defeated President Gerald Ford, becoming the first president from the Deep South in almost a century.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
In the first sign this would be a down-to-earth presidency, Jimmy Carter walked the entire way from the Capitol to the White House during the inauguration. Austerity was in the air.
There's no way that I or anyone else in the government can solve our energy problems if you are not willing to help.
Once in the White House, however, Carter's lack of experience in Washington politics became a severe handicap. The independent-minded Congress failed to approve some of his most important legislative initiatives. Indeed, for many, he dealt with matters of foreign policy much more skillfully than he did domestic. He was firm in his commitment to human rights.
No member of the United Nations can claim that mistreatment of its citizens is solely its own business.
When the Soviet Union sent troops into Afghanistan in 1979, Carter responded with punitive measures against the Soviets, including a trade embargo. But one of his actions seemed to anger Americans as much as it did the Russians.
I have given notice that the United States will not attend the Moscow Olympics.
The major achievement of the Carter presidency was the signing of the Camp David Accords in September of 1978. Carter brought Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin and Egyptian President Anwar el-Sadat together for 11 days. The Camp David Accord served as the basis for a treaty signed by Begin and Sadat 6 months later in Washington. Jimmy Carter faced his toughest test of all when Americans were taken hostage in Iran in November of 1979. This time, neither his resolve nor the power of the American government was effective enough in gaining freedom for these hostages. Carter's boldest effort met with tragedy in the Iranian desert.
Late yesterday, I canceled a carefully planned operation which was underway in Iran for a later withdrawal of American hostages.
By making the release of the hostages the overriding goal of his final year, Carter jeopardized his prospects for re-election. Things were hardly better at home as the economy continued to deteriorate.
The erosion of our confidence in the future.
Carter's popularity plummeted. He blamed the country's problems on a crisis of confidence. His weakness brought a challenge from Senator Ted Kennedy for the Democratic nomination in 1980. Carter survived the battle, but he went into the fall campaign greatly weakened.
I'll bring new hope to America.
His opponent, Ronald Reagan, campaigned tirelessly to restore America to its former position of greatness. Jimmy Carter lost in a landslide. In 1982, he established the Carter Center, committed to advancing human rights and promoting democracy around the world. He built houses for the poor and worked for peace in Haiti and North Korea and Bosnia.
The bond of our common humanity is stronger than the divisiveness of our fears and prejudices.
And in 2002, at age 78, Carter became only the third U.S. president to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In August of 2015, Carter announced a troubling health diagnosis. Liver surgery, where they removed a tenth of his liver, revealed melanoma that had spread to his brain. But then, a little less than 4 months later, Carter revealed at Sunday school he was cancer-free, and his brain scans didn't show any signs or spots.
They were responding to the treatment, and when I went this week, they didn't find any cancer at all. So I have good news.
Over the years, despite various health challenges as he aged, Jimmy Carter continued to build houses, to play a role in national politics, and celebrated new milestones.
Salute.
In 2021, Jimmy and Rosalind marked their 75th wedding anniversary.
75 years, I can't believe.
Their love story continued until her death. 77 years of marriage, the longest presidential marriage in history. His tireless dedication to humanity and global efforts to preserve freedom all led to a new kind of modern axiom. Jimmy Carter, they say, was one of the best ex-presidents America ever had.